Sometimes you hear about a new feature and you think you have to try it out for yourself because it sounds too good to be true. That's exactly where I was with what GiMATE announced their GiMATE software could do when we got to see it for the first time this year at Computex. An all-in-one software hub that could not only improve the quality of your work with privacy enhancements, noise cancellation for your calls, or even better sound quality, but also it could increase your performance by dynamically tuning your system. That's a lot to expect from a single piece of software. Well, I'm here to say that GiMATE has actually exceeded my expectations of what I thought it could do. Now, GiMATE is sponsoring this video, and specifically, they're sponsoring our coverage of the Aorus Master 18 notebook. It's a uniquely high-powered gaming laptop. We'll get into the specific specifications in a second, but its performance is elevated by GiMATE's use of their GiMATE software to make it even better than what the specs suggest. And I have my own personal numbers to showcase that. Legitimately, I was blown away when I found out just how much extra gaming performance I got by using GiMATE's AI performance settings. But again, we'll chat more in depth about that in a bit. Let's start with what's in this puppy. The 18-inch frame is packing a 16:10 aspect ratio, which is 2560 by 1600 pixels, mini LED panel that has a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, 2304 dimming zones, 1200 nits of brightness covering 100% of the DCI-P3 color space, all while running at 240 Hz with a 3 millisecond response time. All that number and letter soup practically means that this is the best 18-inch screen I've ever seen on a laptop. Incredibly bright with great contrast for HDR content, super fast for gaming, and that 1600p resolution is the perfect pairing for the graphics card that's driving everything. You also get 4 RAM slots for up to 128 gigs of memory, and 3 total M.2 storage slots, 1 Gen 5 and 2 Gen 4 for enough terabytes to get your Steam library loaded up on the go. You also have a per-key RGB keyboard with up to 2 millimeters of travel, alongside plenty of ports. It's got PowerPort 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, HDMI 2.1, USB Type-A, and Thunderbolt 5 port. Those are all on the left side, and then the right side gives you 2 more USB-As, a Thunderbolt 4 port with an SD card reader and an audio combo jack. And when you're not using the 2.5 gig LAN port, you still also have Wi-Fi 7 baked in with Bluetooth 5.4 to make sure any wireless communication is top-notch. The Aorus Master 18 also comes with up to an RTX 5090 laptop card with 24 gigs of VRAM, 1824 AI TOPS for your machine learning needs, and most impressively, up to 175 watt TGP for the GPU to run at full tilt. You combine that with the up to Core Ultra 9 275HX processor with 24 cores at up to 5.4 gigahertz, and you've got a laptop that's gonna be able to handle any task you throw at it. Gaming, yes. Video editing, no problem. Getting your 14 billion parameter model to hit some max tokens per second, no sweat. And that's especially true since it's all cooled by the WindForce Infinity EX cooling tech, a massive vapor chamber, a quad fan setup with acoustic diffusers and modified housing to create a lower noise, higher performance cooler. Practically, you get 270 watts of cooling performance out of the spinny bits, and with up to 175 watts on the GPU, you get up to 95 watts on the CPU. GiMATE's also designed it so that the heat gets vented away from your fingies when they're on the keyboard or trackpad, but they've also made sure that there's a 0 dB mode with their GiMATE software so that if you're just using the Aorus Master 18 for some lower power task like an 18-inch 240Hz 1200 nits spreadsheet, you don't have to hear any of the fans running. Or if you're just using it as a model for your video, yeah, these fans ain't spinning, and that's a good thing. And now this is the perfect segue to discuss the rest of what GiMATE has to offer. With the single press of the dedicated GiMATE button, GiMATE gives you 6 different areas that they've designed their software to address. You have the AI cooling that'll give you the 0 decibel experience when it's needed, but also make sure you're cranking enough airflow when your frame rate is running high. You combine that with the AI performance options, and your laptop can adjust to whatever scenario you need it for. I'm gonna spend more time on the performance stuff in a bit, so let's keep looking at the rest of what GiMATE has on offer. AI Power is there to help intelligently manage power consumption. It'll dynamically swap out between your integrated graphics and the discrete 5090, no problem. It'll also adjust the refresh rate to make sure you're not wasting panel refreshes on your coworker's default Teams profile pic. All of that is there to help increase battery life by up to 15%. And since it does come with a 99 watt hour battery, the Aorus Master 18 is designed to last as long as possible in any scenario audio you need it for. And in case you need to juice it back up, it's fast charging you back to 50% in just half an hour. Now, it also has AI voice to provide high quality noise cancellation and voice recognition to give your words a fighting chance the next time you take a work meeting at a coffee shop. There's also AI audio that'll dynamically change the EQ on the 4 2-watt speakers with 2 tweeters depending on what type of surface you set the notebook down on. So yeah, that's a couple things. Number 1, there's 6 speakers in this bad boy. Number 2, it will automatically change how audio sounds depending on where you're placing it. A mouse mat, your legs, a regular old particle board desk. GiMATE will adjust the output for you to make sure everything's coming across as crisp and cleanly as possible. And let's say you're at your desk and someone's trying to catch a glance at some confidential information you're working on. GiMATE's AI privacy will automatically detect when someone else is miring at your screen. It can alert you, swap applications, or even just display specific images just to make sure that none of your private deets are bestowed upon unworthy eyes. Now, all of those make GiMATE a great bit of software. The cooling, being 0 decibel, changing the audio, making sure your voice is recognized, also giving you privacy situations. That's fantastic. But this is kind of a gaming tech channel. We like computers that run fast here. So it's now time to talk about my favorite part of GiMATE. It's AI performance. And depending on what you want to do with your computer, you can just tell GiMATE and it'll tune the system to accomplish that task. It's work time, it's meeting time, it's morphin time, or if it's gaming time, the AI performance setup will dynamically clock your system to be at appropriate speeds and appropriate power consumption. But I want max performance basically all of the time. I don't care if I'm in a Zoom meeting. And they provide that with the form of their AI Boost 2 setup, which is a one-click overclocking tool that'll tune the GPU and fan settings for that top tier FPS. And if you're a gamer, this is where GiMATE goes from having some helpful features to being legitimately necessary. I ran several gaming benchmark tests with the AI Boost off and GiMATE deactivated to see what the stock Windows power profiles would perform like. Then I ran everything again, same settings in the games, but with the AI Boost 2 turned on, and the numbers are, frankly, insanely good. Across every single game I tested, AI Boost 2 increased my frame rate. The least improvement I saw was going from 65.9 FPS in Black Myth Wukong at 1600p high settings at stock to 78.3 FPS with GiMATE doing its thing. Yeah, that's right. My lowest increase was 18% extra frames. 18% from clicking a single button or telling GiMATE to get the laptop cranking, essentially. On average, a 20% gain was what I personally experience with this feature. Again, this is my own personal benchmarks, not marketing numbers that GigaByte slung my way. It's actually measured improvement in every game I ran. Cyberpunk 2077 broke 120 FPS with AI Boost 2, and Marvel Rivals jumped from 90 frames to 109. It's just an incredible, real-world, noticeable impact that GiMATE has on gaming. GigaByte's definitely cooked up the right bits in their software to make sure that whatever optimizations are happening with overclocking and fan tuning are real and measurable. Now, let me be clear. GigaByte doesn't claim a specific amount of extra performance GiMATE will get you. And I did not test every game under the sun, so there may be times some extra overclocking and tuning just won't do as much for you as it did for me. But it's free, comes with the laptop, and is so easy to activate that I highly recommend you use it when your time comes to game on the Aorus Master 18. Ultimately, I came away more impressed with the GiMATE software and the Aorus Master 18 than I anticipated I would be. GigaByte's software and hardware teams have whipped up something special in this ultra black coated computer. Yeah, I haven't spent much time talking about the gorgeous design on the shell of the laptop because I've been so focused on talking about its actual performance, but this thing looks great and even subtly changes depending on how the light is hitting the back of it. And the best way for you to experience that change in the clamshell, pick one up for yourself. I have the link in the description below. The Aorus Master 18 has the specs to dominate all your performance needs and the software to make it more seamless than you'd imagine. Big thanks again to GigaByte for sponsoring today's video.